Good day, distinguished faculty members, colleagues, fellow researchers, and esteemed members of the Monarch Atlantic University community. My name is Kolawole Kolbewaji, and it is an honor and the privilege to present my doctoral research titled Building a Culture of Continuous Improvement, the Role of Transformational Leadership in Secondary Schools in Lagos State, Nigeria. I want to begin by giving glory to God Almighty, whose wisdom, grace, and guidance have sustained me throughout this academic journey. I also dedicate this work to my family for their firm love, patience, and encouragement, and to every educator who continues to labor faithfully to make a difference in the lives of students. I equally appreciate my supervisors, Professor Ademola Adeshino, Professor Vincent Alidu, Professor Gigi Dangata, Associate Professor Sati Johanna Kesman, and Dr. Andrew O'Neill, whose mentorship, feedback, and insight shaped this research. Education is the bedrock of any society. It is the tool through which individuals are equipped with knowledge, skills, and values to thrive in a complex and changing world. Secondary schools occupy a particularly strategic position because they serve as the bridge between childhood and adulthood, preparing young people for higher education, vocational training, and the workforce. In Nigeria, secondary schools face enormous challenges such as resource constraints, overcrowded classroom, inconsistent teacher motivation, and in some cases, poor organizational culture. Traditional leadership approaches in schools have often focused only on administrative control, task completion, and compliance with policies. While these are important, they fall short of the urgent need for schools to inspire, innovate, and adapt in order to prepare students for the realities of the 21st century. It is in this context that transformational leadership becomes so important, unlike transactional leadership, which focuses on reward and punishment. Transformational leadership is built on vision, inspiration, empowerment, and collaboration. Transformational leaders motivate their staff intrinsically, align individual goals with organizational goals, and foster an environment where both teachers and students can thrive. This study, therefore, investigates how transformational leadership can build a culture of continuous improvement in secondary schools in Lagos State, Nigeria. The problem identified is the clear gap between the theory of transformational leadership and its practice in many Nigerian secondary schools. While transformational leadership has been widely recognized in literature as a driver of innovation and continuous improvement, many schools still struggle with ineffective leadership, inadequate professional development, and lack of collaboration. This disconnect has hindered schools from reaching their potential and has negatively affected both teachers and students. The challenge, therefore, is to explore how transformational leadership can move beyond theory into practical strategies that genuinely foster continuous improvement in the Nigerian context. This research was guided by 5 major objectives. One is to examine the role of transformational leadership in fostering a culture of continuous improvement in secondary school. 2, to explore the relationship between leadership practices, professional development, and team collaboration. 3, to analyze the impact of transformational leadership on student outcomes and overall school performance. 4. To identify the challenges and opportunities in implementing transformational leadership. And 5. To provide actionable recommendations for leaders, policymakers, and educators who seek to strengthen school improvement. From these objectives, 5 research questions were raised, such as: how does transformational leadership influence the culture of continuous improvement? What impact does it have on professional development, collaboration, and student outcomes? To test these questions, 4 hypotheses were formulated, including that transformational leadership positively influences continuous improvement, professional development, collaboration, and student outcomes. The study builds on the work of James McGregory-Burns, who first introduced transformational leadership in 1978, and Bernard Bass, who expanded the framework. Transformational leadership is understood through 4 main dimensions. 1. Idealized influence, where leaders act as role models and earn trust. 2. Inspirational motivation, where leaders communicate a compelling vision that inspires others. 3. Intellectual stimulation, where leaders challenge assumptions and encourage innovation. And 4. Individualized consideration, where leaders mentor, coach, and develop each team members. The review also examined continuous improvement in schools, organizational culture, teacher professional development, and student outcomes. While existing research strongly supports the value of transformational leadership, gaps remain in context-specific studies, especially in Nigerian secondary schools. This justified my research focus. This study adopts a mixed methods approach, combining both quantitative and qualitative strategies. 10 secondary schools in Lagos were purposely selected to reflect both public and private context. From these schools, 1 leader, 5 teachers, and 10 students each participated, making a total sample of 160 respondents. Data were collected through structured questionnaires for teachers and students, semi-structured interviews with school leaders, and document analysis of school policies and development plans. Quantitative data were analyzed using SPSS, applying descriptive statistics, correlation, and regression. Qualitative data were analyzed thematically using open code. Instruments were validated by experts and piloted in 2 schools. Chromebacks alpha yielded 0.86, indicating strong internal reliability. Ethical clearance was obtained, consent was secured from participants, and anonymity and confidentiality were guaranteed throughout the study. Allow me now to highlight the key findings of my study. Number 1, transformational leadership and continuous improvement. 82% of teachers confirmed that their leaders articulated a clear vision and modeled expected behaviors. Many schools held reflective retreats and innovation meetings. The conclusion here is that transformational leadership significantly strengthens a culture of continuous improvement. 2, professional development. A strong positive relationship was found between leadership and professional growth, with a correlation coefficient of 0.71. Leaders organized school-based training, peer coaching, and mentoring sessions. Teachers reported feelings more empowered to grow professionally. 3. Team collaboration. 74% of teachers agreed that their schools encourage collaboration, and many interviewees spoke about distributed leadership, where every teacher leads something. Collaboration became embedded in daily practice, not just formal meetings. And 4, student outcomes. Regression analysis showed that transformational leadership explained 63% of the variance in academic achievement. Students reported higher motivation, a safer climate, and more holistic development through programs like mentorship, clubs, and leadership initiatives. And number 5, challenges and opportunities. The challenges included inadequate funding, resistance to change among older staff, and restrictive policies. However, opportunities such as ICT integration, partnership with NGOs, and increased interest in student leadership provided ways forward. The findings clearly confirmed the hypothesis and support existing theories. They show that transformational leadership directly shapes school culture, enhances teachers' growth, promotes collaboration, and improves student achievement. It also became evident that transformational leadership in Lagos are already innovating through retreats, peer learning, and distributed leadership. But their efforts are constrained by resources and policy limitations. Importantly, students themselves confirmed that supportive and visionary leadership directly affects their motivation and engagement. These studies contribute in 4 major ways to knowledge. Number 1, it provides context, specific empirical evidence from Nigerian secondary schools. Number 2, it highlights professional development and collaboration as central pillars of effective leadership. Number 3, it introduces a practical framework for integrating student voice and distributed leadership in schools. And finally, number 4, it offers strategies for leading continuous improvement in resource-constrained environments. Based on these findings, the study recommends the following. 1, for school leaders, develop and communicate a clear shared vision, empower teachers and students, prioritize continuous professional development, and promote collaboration. 2, for policymakers, invest in leadership training, provide schools with autonomy and resources, and create policies that encourage innovation. 3, for teachers, embrace a growth mindset, engage in professional learning. Embrace a growth mindset, engage in professional learning communities, and support students' leadership. And 4, for researchers, conduct longitudinal studies on transformational leadership, explore cultural influences on leadership styles, and investigate student leadership as a complement to teacher leadership. In conclusion, this research demonstrates that transformational leadership is not just a theoretical construct, but a practical and powerful force for change in Nigerian secondary schools. Leaders who inspire, empower, and collaborate are able to build cultures of continuous improvement, nurture teacher growth, and elevate students' outcome. The challenges are real, but the opportunities are greater. With visionary and transformational leaders, Nigerian schools can rise above constraints and prepare our young people to be innovative, adaptable, and responsible global citizens. As I close, I return to the conviction that has guided me throughout this study. Education is not only about impacting knowledge, but about inspiring transformation. And transformational leadership is the catalyst that makes this possible. Thank you for your attention, and I am grateful to the Project Supervisory Committee and to Monarch Atlantic University for the opportunity to present my work. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.